Hey, good morning. This is Rabbi Shlomo Furst here. I'm substituting today for Rabbi Levitt, who's busy taking care of something important for the yeshiva. So we're continuing with our explanation of Bircas Kohanim. This is Yeshiva's Samanavshi here in Yerushalayim Eretz Kodesh, located on Rehov Zichron Yaakov number 6 in the Beit Knesset of the Chanukah Yeshivas, not too far from the central bus station, so you can walk from there, take a bus, drive if you have a car. And if you're coming from Chutz La'aretz, please, when you fly or come other ways there to Israel, join us for our shirim. We'd love to have you join us. Good morning. Come in. Oh, perfect. Come in. Yeah, so we're in the Benja's Tanchuma here. You can look on with me if you like. Yeah.
Thank you.
And we're learning more about Bircas Kohanim. Yeah. Who would like to begin to read? That's in the Midrash Tanchuma Pashas Nasoy. Sif Siman Yud. Davar. Yeah, please go ahead.
Davar Acher, another version.
Or explanation.
Or explanation. Ko Tivarechu. Thus they bless. Yivarechecha Hashem v'yishmerecha. Bless you, God, and guard you.
Hashem shall bless you and guard over you.
Right.
That's
not you will bless God.
Very good.
Yivarechecha. The word to bless you. Ba'osher, with wealth.
Right. So Hashem shall bless you with wealth, right? Or either bless you with Ba'osher, with wealth, or it could be that your wealth will be blessed.
As in, your wealth increases.
Possibly, yeah. Mm-hmm. Meaning if you need it, you'll get it, and if you have, you'll keep it, and maybe even get more.
V'yishmerecha, and guard you. Shetehei, that there should be osher, wealth. Said that he would make mitzvos. That we would do mitzvahs?
Right, so Yishmerecha, this is different from Rashi's pshat. Rashi knew Midrash Tanchuma, right? So he didn't bring these things down, he brought what you learned yesterday. But here it says, Yishmerecha, that's referring to the oise mitzvahs, that you should do mitzvahs. So that's, if you, for me, it's worthwhile taking a minute to try to understand this. How would you understand this to mean that Yishmerecha, that Hashem will be guarding over you, that you will do mitzvahs? How do we understand what that means?
That you will be protected from other forces that will prevent you, whatever they could be, health, sicknesses, oppression, all sorts of things that would prevent you from doing the mitzvahs.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, go ahead, Roy.
It could also mean that, in a sense of guarding you, that he allows your inner being to be able to get around the mitzvahs, doing it properly, to how do I put it? When you're excuse me, when you're doing the mitzvah, that you have the correct approach to doing it, guarding you from of thinking of things that you shouldn't be thinking of while you're doing the mitzvah, or guarding you so that you're putting your all into the mitzvah.
Also very good.
Similarly, I would say removing impediments.
Oh, very good. Mm-hmm. So I think we have the removal of impediments in Gashmias and in Ruchnias. I mean, there are many physical things, Gashmias things, that could stop a person from doing mitzvahs. Right? You may not have the wherewithal, you may not have the ability, the time, or the peace of mind, or the menuchas nefesh, as we call. All these different things can impede a person in his doing of mitzvahs. So we're asking, we're giving the Klal Yisrael, Jewish people, a bracha that Hashem should guard over them, in which they should be able to have freedom from any impediments, or either ruchnius or gashmius, that would stop them from doing mitzvahs. Okay, that sounds very reasonable. Very good. Okay, let's continue.
Yo'er will shine Hashem panav, his face or his countenance. Yamid, to stand up, to raise up. Mimecha, for you.
Well, from you.
From you.
Mincha, from you.
Mincha, from you. Banim, children. B'nai Torah, who are Torah observant.
Oh, so you, when you find a Kohen in the street, ask him if he's mechaber for this. After all, he's the one giving you the bracha. Tell him you want children and 8 o'clock in Doiros, which have been Torah. Tell him that, when you're up there in the Duchen and you're giving the brachas, Medrash Tanchum, you have this in mind as well. Okay, so this Rashi doesn't bring down in Chumash. Significantly.
Doesn't bring down what?
In Chumash, Rashi explains since these are psukim in the Parshas Nasoi.
Right.
So Rashi in his Parish and Chumash explains what these psukim mean, what the brachas mean. That, obviously it's not the only meaning what Rashi is bringing down. So here we see something which is not included.
Different.
Yeah.
Right. I was just thinking that because I had learned different things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, sure. Obviously there are many. I would imagine as much intention, concentration, kavanah, and meaning that Kohen's put in. That's how much it's going to be transferred. Or it could be that whatever Kadosh Baruch Hu wants that these brachas should convey to the Jewish people, they're going to be conveyed whether the Kohen has kavanah or not. That's an interesting shaila. Does the Kohen have to have kavanah for all these details, or it's going to be something, all these details are included in general, whether the Kohen's intentionally concentrating on it or not? I don't know.
Right.
You see, a Kohen could ask him. Maybe he's looking
We have
into
one.
it.
We have one in the next class.
No, good. So you could ask him because it's their job. They should know what they're doing. Right?
Well, I would wonder if they have Kohanim classes.
Do.
Would they teach
I
this?
I have a friend who's Kohen, and before his son was bar mitzvah, there's a sefer out on the obligations of the Kohanim, and he would learn that with his sons. The whole.
Yeah, no, it's a separate. He's becoming bar mitzvah, so he should he's getting himself into mitzvahs deraisa. He's a mitzvahs deraisa. And v'chakila mitzvahs kavanah.
Let's say it's your birthday, and your father or mother's going to give you a present, and it's a significant birthday of some kind. Okay.
Like
So
70.
What? 70?
Like 7.
Mother and father. All right. Anyway, so and you're looking forward, and you love your parents very, very much, and so they come along and say, okay, now here's your present, and throw it at you. I've got to go now to the baseball game. Right. That's one way of giving a present. You got your present. But if they say, Uncle, come to me. Here's your present, darling. We love you very, very much. And they give it to you with kavanah, with love. It's a different sort of present. So with the Kohanim blessing you, do they just throw it at you? It becomes almost meaningless because of the way they did it, or do they give it to you with kavanah so it has meaning for you and for them as well, and therefore for Hashem?
Of course.
So I would imagine you would need to you would need to have kavanah, and you can't. All right, you get your present one way or another, but which way are you going to get it? It's a real bracha.
So every day the Kohanim should sponsor Kiddush. It's the party.
It's really hard being a Kohen, I'm sure. But I'm not one. I don't think I could live up to it.
Shenamar, as it is stated, Ki ner mitzvah, for the light or the candle of a mitzvah, the Torah, and the Torah and the Torah light.
And Torah's light. So their mitzvah, and a mitzvah is like a candle, and Torah is like a light. Like they say, it's like the sun. You have a mitzvah has the ability to illumine in a limited singular sense. However, the Torah has the ability to illumine in the way that the sun does, like incessantly and globally.
What does that have to do with having children?
Good question. I think it has to do with Ya'er Hashem Panecha, meaning that Hashem's going to shine the countenance upon them, and He's going to be a shine. There's going to be an illumination, right? So that's the way Chazal here in the Medrash are relating the fact that the Kohen is giving a bracha Ya'er Hashem Panecha Penov, and that will lead to a bracha for children who are b'nei Torah, because it's a light. There, so to speak, that Hashem should send forth a light towards the Jewish people. What's light? So if it's a light like a ner, that's mitzvah, and if it's because that's what we had first. We had the first thing that Yivarecha Ba'Oisher V'Yishmerecha, that was Losa mitzvahs. So then Ya'er Panav Yamid B'nei Torah. So you have mitzvah and you have B'nei Torah. So you have Ner mitzvah Torah Or. So I think that might be a way of the Medrash relating what it wants to tell us and teach us to the bracha of the Kohanim.
Wonder why they switched the order. You have Ner first,
Right.
and Or last.
Okay.
You think it'd be Ner mitzvah Or Torah, right? Or mitzvah Ner Torah Or.
Well, here when it says Ki Ner mitzvah v'Torah, first of all, it's a pasuk in Mishlei, right? So we should, to really understand the order.
We'd have to study.
Really, it's not, and if I'm not mistaken, it's only a part of a pasuk. It's not the full pasuk, if I'm not mistaken. So before entering a discussion of the actual order of the psukim, it's worthwhile taking a look at the pasuk. If you want afterwards, we can after the shir, if you want, we can look at the pasuk just briefly. Have a few minutes. We'll look at them. Yeah, sure. Okay.
Okay. Devar Acher, another explanation. Yo'er Hashem panav elecha, shine Hashem His countenance on you. Ya'amod, to raise up mimecha from you, Kohanim. Shema'irim, don't know that word.
That they illumine.
Oh, that they.
It's the same word from
Or.
Ya'ir, or, right? Shema'ir, they illumine.
At ha-mizbeach, the altar.
Well, that they illumine, that there should be, I imagine that means that should be involved with the avoda in the base of Mikdash.
Like the fires on the base,
also.
like the fires on the
Like,
yeah.
So that means that's a blessing for the nation? Or
Well,
the parents of the Kohen?
very good question. And Kohen is giving a bracha to himself. What's pshat in this chazal? It sounds like if the Kohen is giving us a bracha and he's giving bracha
But
for
what
his
you're
own
saying
children.
is that the avoda will continue in the base of Mikdash. You say, we'll have the base of Mikdash, and the avoda will be there, the avoda will be done, and that's a bracha for all Klal
The
Yisrael.
fact that we have Kohanim doing the avoda in the base of Mikdash, that's relevant to all of Klal Yisrael. Exactly. Very good. Yeah. So even though it might be something which is specific, apparently specific to the Kohen and his family and then his tribe, it really is relevant to because it's not just having Kohanim; it's having Kohanim who are busy with the avoda of the mizbeach, and that's something that's relevant to Klal Yisrael, especially if we learn specifically the Ma'ira mizbeach that's their the Eish Tami. Eish Tami was very significant. I mean, all the avoda in the base of Mikdash was significant. But having the Eish Tami constantly there, that was also very significant. Not just for the Kohanim, but for Klal Yisrael.
Shenamar, as it says, below ta'iru, is that the same word, or?
Yeah, similar, same source, right?
They will
Aleph Reish, yeah, Aleph Reish.
it will not shine, mizbechi, your altar, chinam, for free.
Right. So that's a pasuk in Malach, right? Okay. So that right, so before saying shot in the pasuk, we have to look at the The pasuk, yeah.
Right.
Okay, so more homework.
Uchsiv, and it is written. That's interesting. It says Shneimar, now it says Uchsiv. They're synonymous, I guess, right?
Shneimar is in Nach and Ksiv is written in the Torah.
Yeah, if you notice this pasuk is in Vayikra, right? Right.
Oh, interesting. Okay. The ha'esh, and the fire al ha-mizbeach, on the altar, tukad, bo. I don't know what tukad is.
Burn there.
Yeah.
What is it?
Should burn there.
Burn, bow in it, with it. Lo sichbeh.
Should not be extinguished.
Right. That's the Eish Tamid. That's the command that there should be an Eish Tamid.
Okay, that one's clear. Vichunecha, and be gracious to you. So now we're back to the
Bircas
bracha.
Kohanim. Yeah, exactly.
Shana, the year. Shana, the year.
He taught.
Oh, he taught.
Yeah.
Shana.
Rebbe.
Rabbi Chia taught.
Rabbi Chia
Haggadah taught. Yachaneh, Hashem will be gracious. Etzlecha, with you.
By you.
Mhm.
So what is that supposed to mean? Yachaneh Hashem Etzlech. Hashem should be gracious, like Etzlech, amongst you. What's that supposed to mean exactly? I'm not sure.
We had a whole discussion yesterday about Chaim,
Okay.
and I think we said that it was giving something for without being deserved, as opposed to Chesed, which is doing something. So Chaim implies that you're on the receiving end. So we're on the receiving end of benefits from Hashem that we don't necessarily deserve.
That's Chaim. That's Chaim.
Right. So it's the same word as Yichaneh, right?
I believe so.
To future, to give Chaim.
Right. See, in the Sefer Chavos U'Levavos, if I'm not mistaken, other Sfarim as well, explain that a child in the eyes of his parents have a special chaim. Every
Grace.
Right? And it's needed because for a parent to have that extra love to take care of the child, they have to. Everyone thinks their child, they're especially most beautiful baby in the world. There's no way, Other people, you're nice, cute
Some
baby.
of them are really ugly.
But every mother, every father, they're completely in love with their own children. At least up to a certain age, and it's necessary because the parents have to be able to get up and take care of them in the middle of the night, and this way, cleaning, changing, all the things involved. So Hashem places a special chaim in the eyes of the parents towards their children.
So they want to give to the child even though the child doesn't deserve it.
Yeah, a child's absolutely undeserving. But a child, this child is.
What have they done?
Yeah,
What have they done for you lately?
Yeah, right.
Right.
It says by the Megillah has to have a certain chain in the eyes of everyone, actually, not just Akash Vedrash, had a certain chain there. They just wanted to do for this Esther. Right? So the Gemara says a person who learns Torah at night, that'll be people will be happy to do things for this person, things like that. So it's like undeserving, seemingly undeserving. It's not like, oh, you did something to me, I'll do something back for you. Right? The child did nothing for the parents, right? Except he made him a father another time, whatever it might be, which is very important and valuable to the parents, obviously. But in terms of actual giving, the child's not giving it. Nevertheless, they want to give back to the child.
Okay, good. Devar Acher, another explanation. Vichunecha, be gracious to you, Yami, to raise up Minecha from you, Nevi'im, prophets, Shneimar, as it is stated, Vishafachti, I don't know what shafach?
To pour, I think to pour forth, right?
Svach.
Yeah, or shvach hamaska. We say in the pasuk, but we say this by the Leil Seder. and the Haggadah, Shva Chamaska,
Pour out your anger.
Yeah, pour out your anger.
Oh,
Wrath.
right,
Shva
yeah.
Chamaska, right.
And I poured out all base David concerning the house of David, Va'al Yoshvei, and concerning the dwellers, Yerushalayim, in Yerushalayim, Ruach, the spirit, Chain, of grace.
So now you get,
V'tachanunim.
okay, so
And underneath it?
no, and the compassion, or well, tachanunim is like really mercy.
Oh,
Mercies.
Tachnun.
Yeah.
Talking is supplications, that's supplications,
Supplications.
but we're supplicating Kadosh Baruch Hu's mercies, right? Right. So this is a pasuk
Zechariah.
right? So again, this is an application to Bircas Kohanim, even though we know that the prophecy is stopped, right? Worthwhile point to mention that prophecy is stopped. So whether or not a Kohen should have kavanah for this right now, I'm not sure. But there'll be a time when prophecy will be reinstated, and at the time when there was prophecy, we the Kohanim were giving brachas out that people should have prophets.
What about Siyata Dishmaya? We still have that.
Yes,
Is that
definitely.
considered like prophecy?
Siyata Dishmaya is a different kind of a category. You have Ruach HaKodesh, which
Siyata
is
Dishmaya is a calmness
well,
that you should,
that's Menuchas HaNefesh. Menuchas HaNefesh. Siyata Dishmaya is a special help from the Kadosh Baruch Hu, divine intervention, so to speak. Is you have Hashgacha Pratis, and you have Siyata Dishmaya, right? There are other things too, right? But Siyata Dishmaya really means help from heaven, meaning a person's having, things are going like incredibly easy, right? It's like just it's being taken care of without all the red tape. Something's obviously happening here. When people have certain success, they say, Baruch Hashem, they had Siyata Dishmaya, right? That they're attributing the success they had to a Kadosh Baruch Hu's running of the world, rather than from their own involvement, their own hishtadlus, their own intervention in the ways and workings of the world. Kadosh Baruch Hu put us in a goof with a neshama, and we have to do things in this world. That's how Kadosh Baruch Hu wants it to be. Ramchal discusses this at length in his Sefer Derech Hashem, that if you want a cup of coffee, you're not supposed to sit here and say, pray to Hashem, I want a cup of coffee. You have the ability to go out and get yourself a cup of coffee, right? There are certain things which are beyond your control, and if you realize that in order to get this done, right, you're going to have a lot of help, Siyata Dishmaya, from the Kadosh Baruch Hu. So you have a right to pray for those things, but those things which are within your realm of actually doing for yourself, in general, you're supposed to try and take care of it and on your own. Right?
What about Ruach HaKodesh?
So Ruach HaKodesh is a type of it's in the general category of things which prophecy is related to. Right? Ruach HaKodesh is a certain divine knowledge. Right? Divine knowledge. Prophecy is an extremely clear, unmistakable divine knowledge. Ruach HaKodesh is also a type of divine knowledge which people even in our generations can have to a certain extent or not, depending on the person and the situation. Right, so that's knowledge of things that through the normal means of sensory understandings and intellectual understandings, you wouldn't necessarily arrive at those conclusions. You arrive at certain conclusions almost beyond the way the intelligence works and the way your senses would indicate for you to do things. It doesn't mean it has to be. It doesn't have to be necessarily illogical, right? But if you'd be hard pressed to explain how you got this information, you wouldn't be able to say that it was based on a empirical knowledge or on logic. Yeah.
So could this be, you have kavanah that this is talking about that?
Perhaps if a Kohen wants that the people should have the Ruach HaKodesh, should have Siyata Dishmaya is again a different type of a thing. It's not in the getter of Guru, but it could be. People should be able to have Ruach HaKodesh. People should be able to be on that level of receiving information from the Kadosh Baruch Hu on a divine level. On that.
So how do you teach Hashgacha Pratis?
Oh, Hashgacha Pratis is actual divine intervention. I mean, there's certain divine interventions which take place at certain times in certain places that, for example, okay, when Rommel, the German general, was moving up from El Arish to Eretz Yisrael, okay, and there was a British battalion of some sorts between Eretz Yisrael and Rommel, but he was a tremendous general, and I think I'm not sure if he had superior weapons and troops, I don't know, but his troops, his tanks were moving so fast that they outran their supply lines in the desert. So what they outran their water supply. So you don't use water in the desert, right? So you get thirsty, right? And it's hot, right? So they came to a pipeline that was built by the British recently, and they opened up the pipeline and they started drinking the water. Right? Within minutes, they were all, if not dead, they were all in tremendous pain. What had happened? Right? The British had recently built that pipeline, and on that very day, they decided, right, to test the pipeline. So you don't test the pipeline in the Middle East with fresh water, because if it doesn't work, you waste a lot. So they put salt water, seawater, into the pipeline to test it. So the Germans of Akshamam came to the pipeline, opened it up, and thinking it was real water, they drank it down, 1, 2, 3, quick, and they had to cut two cups of salt water for a thirsty soldier, because you put him on his back or his belly, or put him in the grave, right? And so they were all out of commission. So whatever troops the British happened to have at the time, simply just moved in and knocked them back, right? So that's called, right, Hashgacha Pratis. The fact that the British should decide on that day, right, to test the pipeline was the same time that Rommel decided to move up and to make an attack on Eretz Yisrael. That, like, you don't plan those things, right? 30 years ago or so, when they had the Gulf War, right? There was one missile that landed, I think, in mid Tel Aviv, right? On that day, right, the Israeli gas line pipeline, that all the gas lines underneath the roads of Tel Aviv have the main gas pipes running. They decided they wanted to close it off to do some kind of a test. Right? That missile landed right in the central place of where that gas line had been located. Had it been live gas in the pipes, there was who knows what would have happened. Right? This way it fell almost like harmlessly into the middle of Tel Aviv. Right? So again, you can't, no one's planning to do that. You have some guy in the gas company decides to turn it off. Someone there in Iraq decides to push a button. At the same time, the same place. That's what happens. Right? That is beyond. That's called Hashgacha Pratis. That's the divine providence, right? The fact that there should be a storm that destroys the Spanish Armada, on its way to England, right? That's divine providence that storm should come up, right? Why? Because there had to be a Balfour Declaration, and if Spain had conquered England at the time, maybe there wouldn't have been a Balfour Declaration. So England had to be on top of the world at the time, right? So all these kind of things.
That's a nice explanation.
So this is how Kodesh Rule intervenes in history. There's interventions in history which a Kodesh Rule will do. But again, there's all these things all unseen and also many times unknown at the time. Sometimes you realize it right away. Yeah, they realized that minutes later that that missile landing in Tel Aviv, had it been live gas in there, what would have happened? So they realized it right away. Yeah. The fact that in the same war, there was only one person that died directly of a missile attack.
Which
right?
war? The Gulf War?
Gulf War. The Gulf War. There's only one person in Eretz Yisrael that died directly. More people died because they misused the gas masks. Seriously, they misused the gas masks than because of missile.
They died from this?
Yeah, suffocations and all kinds of things like that. So, yeah, unfortunately. So the only person that died directly because of missile attack was a famous Mechalel Shabbos. he would ride through the streets of Bnei Brak with a loudspeaker, right, in his car, telling people the Mechal Shabbos. Right? And he died with a missile attack on Shabbos. Right?
Right.
So, this is the hand of the point, the finger of HaKadosh Baruch Hu is pointing loud and clear. He's giving us certain messages, right? So, this is what's called Hashgacha Pratis, divine intervention, divine providence, what the world calls divine providence. Hashem will and can, obviously, intervening. These all these parshas there, the 10 makas, the 10 plagues in Mitzrayim. Hashgacha Pratis, one thing after the next. Hashem says, the Moshe warned Pharaoh about blood. It's going to be blood. Right? He doesn't listen, so there is blood. It's going to be last a week, right? So that's divine problem. We see these parshas of Shmos and Reuven and Bo and Yishlach, but these are evidences that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will and does and has changed history for the benefit of Klal Yisrael. HaKadosh Baruch Hu cares very much about Klal Yisrael and will, at his will and bidding, decide to change history for the benefit of Klal Yisrael. So that's evidenced and expressed through divine providence, to greater or smaller extents, depending on what's needed at the time. Kadosh Baruch Hu told Moshe Rabbeinu he's going to take the Klal Yisrael out of Mitzrayim. The Osios and Movsim Yad Chazaka. He's going to do it in a public way, not secret. He could have taken us out very easily. Could have had all the Egyptians dying in some kind of a plague, send the black plague and kill all the Mitzrayim. Could just walk out of Mitzrayim. Hashem didn't want to do it that way. He wanted to do it with 10 plagues and the Kriyas Yamsuf, the splitting of the sea. Right? He wanted to do it in a way that everyone would remember and be thankful for it for all generations, for all times. So that's Hashgacha Pratis. Right? So here we're praying for that we have Levim and maybe in our time Ruach HaKodesh. Okay.
Devar Acher, another explanation. Yichuneka, be gracious to you. Yitain chino, to give him freedom.
Grace.
Oh, grace and grace.
Yeah, same word. Chen.
Right. Chino. Alecha, concerning you. B'chol makom, in every place. She'ata, that you holech, travel to. Every place you go.
Yeah, very good. Right, they're giving the Kohen is giving the Klal Yisrael, the members of the Jewish people, that every place they go, they should have chen. It's not every a person in different circumstances may have chen. Meaning comes to his davening, in the morning. So everyone is minyan. Everyone loves the people who come in because they keep the minyan going and everything. So everyone likes him. So, but if you go to another minyan, so what are you doing in my place and this and like that. So it's you go to another minyan another time. So if you also have chen, people like to see you there. That's a special thing. The person goes from his job and to his chavrusa. So he should have chen with his chavrusa, have chen with his job, his boss, his clients. Right? In all circumstances, these people should have chen.
Kamo shikasuv, like it is written, v'tiseh chen, v'tiseh. I don't know what tiseh is.
To make.
There, right? Should be done.
Should be done.
And should be done chen, v'chesed, and kindness.
That's a pasuk in
Esther.
Esther. Probably very yeah.
Okay. Yisa, to turn, Hashem panav, his countenance, elecha, towards you. V'chasuv, and it is written, acher, after.
Another pasuk with kasav acher and another pasuk, another verse.
Oh, v'chasuv acher omer. Another verse says, asher, that lo yisa panim, should not turn his face.
This is the
To show favoritism.
Already.
Right, this
Right,
is,
Judge.
this is the discussion that brought the whole issue of Bircas Kohanim up in the first place.
Okay.
Because we're learning, we saw Selo Yossi Panim, we're learning Motim de Rabbanan,
Oh,
and
Oh.
then Ephraim says, but it says you saw Hashem Panecha.
all right.
So
Good.
that was the whole issue that started off the discussion of Bircas Kohanim.
Okay, very good. So the eagle has landed, right?
And so what is this saying? It's saying that it says Hashem should show favoritism,
Right.
as it says in the verse Hashem should
No,
not show favoritism?
No, and no, it's a contradiction. We asked, Bircas
That's what I
Kohanim
just
says,
asked.
yeah, the Pasuk says Hashem, we asked him, Bircas Kohanim says Hashem should show you favoritism, and we have another Pasuk that says Hashem doesn't show favoritism. That we have to understand. That's what we have to
My
need to
question
understand.
is, why are they seemingly using the contradiction as a support? That seems to
Oh,
be...
They're not using support, they're asking the
No,
question.
this is the question. It's like this. We read the Medrash like this. It says Davar Acher. It says Vichu Neka. Okay, Vitain Chainoi Orlecha B'Kol Mokom Shata Holech. Right. So Hashem should give you grace wherever you go. Kamosha Kosav. This is the proof that that's what it means. So V'Yitisa Chain V'Chesed. Right. Now it says a new point. Yisa Hashem Panav Eilecha. Right? It says, because of Acher Omer, and another verse says, Asher lo yisa panim. You shouldn't show favoritism. So the HaKetzad, how could it be?
you're in the middle, I see.
Yeah, right. So
I
it
see.
says HaKetzad, meaning it's apparently contradictory. One says that there should be favoritism, Hashem shows favoritism, and the other one says he does not show favoritism. HaKetzad, how can you reconcile the apparent contradiction between the two verses?
Got it. Asa teshuvah, do repentance, ad shalo, until that there is not nit chasem. That's the same word we had before.
Well, it's from Chosam.
Forgot what it meant.
Chosam is the seal.
Right.
It's from
Seal?
Chosam. If it needs Chasim Gazardin, that the Gazardin should not be sealed.
Right.
You should do tshuva before you get the punishment.
I
Gazardin.
mean, ad means before, right? So it says asa HaKetzad. It says asa tshuva ad shalo nichtaten, right? Gazardin. So if tshuva is done before the final decree is
So
sealed,
why is it shalo?
ad shalo before. Ad shalo,
Oh, ad shalo
that's
before.
ad shalo is an expression we've read together. Ad shalo is before nichtam gazardin. So do tshuva, right? Asa tshuva, do tshuva before the sealing of the final decree. Okay?
Yisa Hashem panav. If you do that, then you'll get favoritism.
Well, let's. I'm not sure. Let's see how it continues.
Kevan, since she nitchatain, it's the same word.
Right.
That since that will be sealed, Gizar Din, the judgment, Asher lo, that not Yisa Panim,
Okay.
that will not be so favoritism.
So this is, let's look again how to read the Medrash here. It says here, Yisa Hashem panav elecha, right? Because of Acher Omer, another pasuk says, another verse says, Asher lo Yisa panim. HaKetzad, how can it be? These seem to be contradictory. So it says Asher tshuva ad shelo nichtam gazardin, then it's Yisa Hashem panav. If you do tshuva before the gazardin, then Hashem will show you favoritism, right? Kevan shenichtam gazardin, once, since it's to seal the gazardin, asher lo yisapanim, then he can't show favoritism. Meaning, obviously, when can Hashem show favoritism? When can Hashem favor you if you've done tshuva before the gazardin? Once after the gazardin's been, there's nothing to do. They can't take the case to the Court of Appeals. Meaning, if you do tshuva, then you can appeal for the case. Before
You could always do tshuva.
you could always do tshuva, right? But the question is, will Hashem show favoritism after there is a gazar din? Meaning, once the person didn't do tshuva. So there was Gezar Din, the person's going to have to go through this and this and this and this, right? So even if he'll do tshuva,
He's still going to go through this.
he's going to, he can't show favoritism. What's going to be, how Hashem will work it out, that's another story. But favoritism, there can't be. Chayin, there can't be. Once there's a Gezar Din, Chayin would only exist up until the time of the Gezar Din is sealed. Once the Gezar Din is sealed, you can't appeal to a Kadosh Baruch Hu's mercies at that point. You might have to do other things to appeal to Hashem to change the Gezar Din or do something. But Chayin, you won't be able to use that method of appealing to a
So,
Kadosh
so
Baruch
in
Hu.
other words, you can still do tshuva, but you're not gonna get the special boost that you might have gotten before. But the tshuva can still be effective.
Yeah, it could be effective to, again, that's Kadosh Baruch Hu's realm. Yeah, that we can't enter into those thoughts because we don't know how Hashem's going to balance everything out.
It refers to Nischasam Gezar Din. Is that Yom Kippur?
Could
Is that
be.
individual?
It could be individual. It could be a Yom Kippur also. That, if I'm not mistaken, this might be a Gemara in Rosh Hashanah. I have to double check to see. This might be relevant to another Gemara, which goes into more details.
Okay.
Yeah.
Devar Acher, another explanation. Yivarecha Hashem v'yishmerecha im habracha, with the blessing shmira, guarding the blessing.
So it says Yishmerecha im habracha shmira. So Yishmerecha, Hashem should guard you with the bracha.
Comes the guarding.
I mean, yeah, that's the, what's the means to the shmira? Through the bracha will be in itself a shmira.
Okay. Melech basar v'dam, a king of flesh and blood. Yesh lo, he has. Ohev, love.
That he loves.
The person
Yesh
will-
lo-
He has something that he loves. Bisuria, in Syria.
Yeah.
Mhm.
V'hu yoshev beRomi, but he lives in Rome. Shalach, he sends, Hamelech, the king sends, Acharav, after it. Allah,
Comes up. Comes.
See,
What?
again, the cases like this, they
Ascends.
you have a king which is in Rome, and he has a friend, an oyev. He has someone who he's beloved to him, to the king, to the Caesar, and he lives in Syria, which was say Syria. So from Syria to Rome is quite a journey.
Right. Okay. Uba, and comes. He ascends and he comes.
Right. So it's Shalach Hamelech Achra. So I mean, the king summoned him. He summoned
He summoned him.
Shalach Hamelech Achra. He sent, literally he sent Shalach Hamelech Achra. The king sent Acharav. He sent after him, and he sent a message to his beloved friend somewhere out in Syria, right?
So the friend got up and came
That was the
to
message.
the
Oh,
king.
Right.
it's a message.
Right.
All
right,
over the answer.
Allah.
Come up and come to me. He
Means-
said, the
Oh,
message was come
this
to
is
me.
the text. I see.
Yeah.
So he sent a message, come to me. Nasan lo, he gave to him, Mea, 100, litrin, that's coins,
Yeah.
litrin. He gave him 100
Shells
shells of gold.
Pay for the trip. He gave him money to pay for
Sent
the
him
trip.
money for the
Right,
trip.
simply like 100 talents of gold to whatever. He gave him money, sent money to him.
Ta'ano, I don't know what ta'ano.
He told him he loaded it up, right? From there's a mitzvah of Prika and Tu'ina. Then you see your friend's donkey along the road, right? So you see it falling down. So there's a mitzvah to Porach to take the load off the donkey, so it shouldn't fall down. And if it did fall down, you have to raise it up, help the animal back up again, and Tu'un, you have to load it up again. It's a mitzvah right to help your friend whose animal is having difficulty along the way. Also,
Okay, so he loaded up. I'm sorry.
okay.
Yatsa Lederech, and he went on his way. Naflu, he fell.
Well, this is a phrase. Nafal alav listim.
Robbers attacked.
Like they descended upon him. The robbers descended upon him. Nafal, falling upon him.
V'natlu, and they took kol ma she nasan lo, all that was given to him hamelech by the king. V'chol ma, and everything shehaya etzlo, that he had.
Right. So you see that the king of Basra Dami sent him. He said he wants his friend to come visit. So they sent him money for the trip. So the guy went on the trip. So he winds up worse off, right, from the king's gift, and he never got
All
anything from the king's, right?
Everything.
Right. So
Right.
King of Basra Dam can give something, but he can't protect you from keeping it. That I think Rashi brings down. Rashi's Makatsu, the marshal here. Rashi brings a very mishmareka at Lechosim. Yeah, go ahead.
Shema, we hear
Shema,
Yahol.
maybe.
Oh,
Or it's impossible.
Right.
Shema, maybe Yahol, he's able, Bishmar O, to guard him, Hamelech, the king. Maybe the king is able to guard
Is it-
him.
It's like a rhetorical question.
Was the king able to guard him from the robbers?
Shall you suggest that the king should be able to guard him from the listing?
Ha listing. Perhaps the king can guard him from the robbers.
That's like rhetorical. Perhaps you think the king can guard him from the robbers.
The fichach, therefore, kasiv, it is written, Yivarechecha Hashem v'yishmarecha. Bless, Hashem will bless you and guard you.
Meaning Hashem should give you blessings and also guard you. Meaning, this is something Rashi. Rashi brings down. He says Hashem can give a blessing to a person and also make sure that what is given will be kept by the person. There'll be shmira. They'll be guarded, protected from losing it. Yeah.
So this is actual guarding.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Peshita.
Yeah.
And it's not what it said before. What it said was you do mitzvahs.
Right. Right.
So we're saying it's both.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
True enough. True enough.
The Varach no explanation. Yivarechecha Hashem v'yishmarecha. Yivarechecha b'mamon. He'll bless your money. Shalo tiyeh asui, that should not change. B'medina panim,
At least as a sum.
panis, from the government.
Yes.
Yes, that's a place. It could be that your investments will be close by. I mean, it shouldn't be too far away from you. That's what in Bircas we say the bracha. If you notice that you're a guest by this person's house, you have your nechasim korab le'ir. You have your properties close to the city. You shouldn't have to go far and wide. Okay, in any event, Shalom Aleichem. Okay, we'll have to stop here. Okay, you talk to Rabbi Levitt if you want to pick up where you left off. Okay,
Okay, thank you.
thank you.